Thinking about moving to Gypsum? Don't. In this video, we're gonna talk about 10 reasons not to move to Gypsum. I kid a little bit, but in general, there are some things that are a little bit of annoying. So let's jump right in with number 10, the water. So keep in mind that Colorado is a very, very dry place. You know, we're known for mountains, we're known for snow, we're known for all that. But what most people don't realize that in the summertime, we've been seeing a lot of drought type of weather lately. The rivers have been lower, the rafting hasn't been all that great. So one of the things that you're gonna realize is water is expensive out here. So if you're one of those people that likes to have a really fancy green yard, be mindful that you're gonna pay a pretty penny, upwards of $400 to $500+ a month, in the summertime, if you like that lush grass. Also, the negative with the water here is that we do have hard water and it sometimes has a little funky taste to it. But one of the things that you can do in regard to kind of cleaning that up for drinking, especially, or like the dryness on your skin, is actually just install a water softener right where the water main comes in from the city, and your water will be a lot softer, more palatable, and a little bit easier and softer on your skin, which is one of the first things that you might hate about living in Gypsum. Coming in at number 9 is the lack of food culture. That's right. You're not gonna get, in my opinion, I'm coming from Chicago, where I was born and raised. You're not gonna get any mind-blowing, award-winning cuisine here in Gypsum, but that's quite all right. You're not gonna have any Whole Foods or Trader Joe's. The opportunities for eating out in Gypsum are fairly lacking. Yes, of course, there's some mom and pop, Mexican joints that are tasty. But one of the nice things about the lack of food options as far as restaurants is maybe that'll save you a little bit of money on your monthly bills, not going out to eat all the time as if you lived in a large city. Another thing that you want to be mindful of, because there's not a whole lot of food choices for, let's say, like the city markets, the grocery stores, there's a Costco that's local, is you do have to be a little bit more resourceful when you decide to go out plan out your grocery list. Coming in at number 8 is trail and slope overcrowding. Although there's going to be seasonal times where we have to share the road, slopes, and trails with our visitors, the locals have the town mostly to their own adventures 8 months out of the year. Yeah, you're definitely going to hate it here if you're not into hunting. With so many deer and elk herds as well as wildfowl across the valley, hunting is a very popular pastime in and around Gypsum. It's not a rare thing to see a hunting group with their kill strapped to the truck. I actually saw this when I was getting gas the other day. 2 dudes had a huge elk hanging out of the back of the truck. One of the cool things is, yes, they were using that as a trophy because they did have their tag filled and it was a massive buck. But as a matter of fact, it produced enough food for 2 families to eat meat half of the year. And number 6 is, yes, there is a regional airport in Gypsum. So if you don't like planes coming in on a fairly regular basis, especially during ski season, you see them coming through town here pretty much on the regular. Every 10 to 15 minutes, there's a new one landing. So if you don't like airport noises, Gypsum isn't going to be for you. But on the flip side, of course, is if you do travel for work, you want to get out of town for whatever reason, you want to head off to a beach vacation, because of course we have the mountains here. Having an airport local is really pretty nice. One of the other things to note about the airport is it's really only busy during the typical ski seasons, and sometimes a couple months during the summertime. But really, other than that, it's not going to have flight traffic that you might think of, let's say, like an Atlanta airport, a Denver DIA airport for that matter, or like Chicago O'Hare. Number 5 is the lack of job opportunities. While Gypsum has been the largest growing area in the valley over the last 10 years, the commercial and retail development is still in the planning phases. Jobs would most likely be remote or involve commuting to Glenwood Springs, Aspen, or elsewhere in the Vail Valley. Coming in at number 4 is the sense of community. So if you're kind of like a shut-in, you don't like to talk to your neighbors, you're definitely not gonna like living here in the valley, living in Gypsum in particular. People are ultra friendly. You kind of know your neighbors. You kind of feel safe and comfortable in town here because it is that small town feel. So if that's not something that is of interest to you, you're not gonna like, the community feel that Gypsum has to offer. Like its neighbor Eagle, Gypsum is a small town where people are friendly and care about and support one another. So if you're used to city and urban, like keep to yourself vibe, Gypsum may not be the place for you. Coming in at number 3 as we round out this list is Mother Nature, the outdoor enthusiasm that you have up in the mountains of Colorado. So if you're a couch potato, Gypsum might not be the place for you. 365 days a year, you can find something to do outside. If you're an indoor person, and again, there's nothing wrong with that, Gypsum might not be for you. Number 2 is highway driving. So Gypsum is at the end of the Vail Valley. It is basically I-70, one of the major interstates in the state of Colorado, goes right through the mountains, right through the valley here. So if you do commute, if you have to, kind of get around and you don't like highway driving, well, Gypsum might not be the place for you. But keep in mind, planning ahead is a necessity when going to and from Gypsum and the valley. Nothing is actually 5 minutes away, and you always have to consider potential highway or road closures year-round. Most of the driving you do when leaving town will consist of Highway 6 or I-70, but the local roads consist of many roundabouts and a few streetlights. Coming in at number 1, this is kind of like a little funny one here, but if you don't like festival type of activities, Gypsum might not be the place for you. You can find rodeos in the summertime, you can find outdoor festivals. Gypsum Days has a huge crowd and a variety of food, activity, and live music. You can find all sorts of different farmers markets in the summertime. In the winter, of course, we have 2 world-class ski resorts right up the road, Beaver Creek and Vail. There's always something to do. But if you're not into like kind of getting out, enjoying yourself, Gypsum, of course, isn't gonna be the place that you're gonna wanna settle. All right, the time is now. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel, hit the thumbs up button, and leave a comment, share this video as well. When you're ready to get your mortgage financing squared away and or moving and relocating right here to the beautiful Denver, Colorado area, we've got your back. Go ahead, shoot us a call, text, even that email, however you want to get a hold of us. Again, we have your back. In addition to that, go ahead, watch one of these other videos right now, snoop around the channel, and we'll see you again when we drop that next one. Take care.